When we are young, we're given a script, a way of being what we use to filter all that we experience. If the script we are given says you are worthless, to be abused emotionally, physically, sexually, then all I do in my life, all my actions, reactions, and interactions will be through the filter of my lack of worth.
I guess my perspective is not much different than it was 30 years ago, and that is that more people need to know about these children who've not done anything wrong, that have had very unfortunate circumstances in their lives, and that they need to not only know about them and become a constituency for them, but they need to help in whatever way they can.
Each child does get a lawyer, so each child has a lawyer who comes to court and advocates on the child's behalf, but those lawyers are in court all day long, so they don't have a lot of time to go meet with the children. They meet with the children outside the courtroom before they come in and then advocate for the child if the child comes to court. Each child has a social worker. Unfortunately, again, the budget being what it is, I think that each social worker has a huge caseload, which makes it difficult. It makes it very difficult for the social worker, and it makes it difficult for the child.
You know, social workers have to focus on the entire family, the children's attorneys have to focus on the legal issues, and there's one person, the CASA, in the courtroom that's focusing on all of the issues. I think that our training program is excellent. We take people who are not lawyers and they're not social workers, and we train them so that they are able to interact in a very professional system with lots of rules and regulations with a great deal of competency.
I do think it's very important for the children that this is someone who will stick by them regardless of how they behave. I also think, and I hear this again and again from the children, that it's important to them to have someone involved in their lives who's not being paid.
Volunteers can do great things because they can give a fresh perspective.
There are approximately 80,000 foster children in the state of California. Of those 80,000, approximately 6,000 have a CASA. More than 1,100 of those children are here in San Diego with a CASA. And I'm very proud of the fact that we've been able to recruit such wonderful volunteers and retain them.
When a child has a CASA, they prepare a report that shows up in the court file. And when I get ready to go into court the next day, I go through the court files and I open the court file and I look at what the social worker's report is. And the CASA report is gray. And I can tell you right now that every time I open a file and see that gray report in the file, I heave a sigh of relief. Because I know that I will have someone who's been involved in the child's life, who's had some continuity in the child's life, and who can tell me if the CASA report says the child's doing well, then I think, good, I know the child's doing well. This is someone who's visited the child on a regular basis, who's talked to the child, who really has a sense that the child is doing well. If the child is not doing well, then usually there'll be a proposal for what the child needs to try and help the child do better.
The goal was to run ourselves out of business. Not that we ever expected to really achieve the goal, but that we would come close. And the idea that we have to keep getting bigger because there are more children, that's disturbing, and it's a very sad commentary on, the way we treat children.
We have a plan, and it's going to require us to double the number of children we serve in the next 5 years. And after that, we're going to continue to go on until we serve every one of these children that needs a CASA.
The foster care system in San Diego has not seen its last child. Sadly, neglect, abuse, and abandonment of children will continue to afflict our community. To visualize the enormity of active cases, imagine the children currently in the system standing together in this 24 by 90 foot space. It would require 28 of these lobbies to hold them all. Ideally, there would be a CASA standing by each child, assisting them, being with them during an often heartbreaking journey.